Well, I went grocery shopping yesterday. I got my potato chips. I got my French onion dip. Once a year, I break them out. The classic Lay's potato chips and the French onion dips, a Super Bowl tradition. I am ready to go. Welcome to Fantasy Football Today, presented by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. We're going to talk about food today, but mostly we're going to talk about football, previewing Super Bowl 59. Chiefs a 1-point favorite against the Eagles. Total is 48.5. They met in Super Bowl 57. It was 38-35. Harrison Butker sealed it with a 27-yard field goal with 8 seconds left. What's going on, Heath? Oh, man, is this just boring for you at this point?
No, it's agonizing. It is agonizing. There's way too much time between the conference championship game and the Super Bowl. And I tell you, I think it's bothered me more this year than it has since the first one. I am very excited about this game. As I said earlier in the week, I think these are two exceptionally talented teams, some all-time greats. It'll be one of the best Super Bowls ever.
Every Chiefs Super Bowl is a class. Well,
no,
the Eagles. Well, last year wasn't really that great of a game. It just went to overtime. It wasn't like a classic, I don't think.
You hate everything.
Yeah,
I mean, they're going to be down. I think every Super Bowl they're going to be down by 2 scores, and then we'll just see if they come back.
All right, so we're going to do DFS today. We're going to do player props today. We're going to break down the game. Jamie's got a fantasy article about each position, so we'll talk about who we like from a fantasy standpoint, and obviously make some picks. Cool stat though: Chiefs have not allowed a 100-yard rusher this year. Saquon Barkley's rushed for 100 yards in 9 of his last 10 games. His player prop is
113.
I got it now at 112.5.
Ooh, it's going down.
The over is -125 and the under is -105. Is he going to be the first 100-yard rusher against the Chiefs?
I say yes.
No.
I would take the under, but I get an 11-yard cushion there on your question.
Great question from Eric from Gamer. Eric, I think this is an important question here. Heath, where do you rank this Chiefs team among the other Chiefs great teams?
Eric. I mean, I think that's going to be determined on Sunday, right?
Last year, I remember saying that this is the worst Chiefs team of their dynasty or whatever. And now it's like, this is the worst Chiefs team of their dynasty.
I mean, listen, they went 15-2, and one of those games they weren't trying to win. So I would have a hard time saying it's the worst.
They've had the clutch gene all year long. Their receiving core is peaking at the perfect time. They've managed to overcome issues on the offensive line with guys that they've had. One of them sitting at guard all year and the other one sitting on the bench all year. I don't think it's the best. I think that first team is the best. But this one's up there. I think this is a good squad.
I mean, like the worst, I think, has to be the one that lost to Tampa Bay, just because by the time they got to the Super Bowl, they did not have an offensive line.
No, they were terrible.
And last year was worse than this year. So this is at least right. The third best.
Why do you think last year was worse than this year? I think last year's team had 2 things that this year's team doesn't, I would say. A better run game and a shutdown. Well, I guess they had 2 shutdown cornerbacks last year. I would say they only have 1 this year, but I think not having Snead is a big deal. I think about this game. I think about the matchup, and I think you're going to get McDuffie on Brown, but you don't have, like last year, as I recall, they put Snead on Ayuk and they had McDuffie on Debo. You don't have that second guy this year. Why is this team better than last year?
Well, I mean, first off, last year's team lost 6 or 7 games. Like we were going into the playoffs and the Chiefs had to go to Buffalo and to Baltimore. Like I understand all of the reasons that people doubt this year's team, but they've still lost 1 game in 4.5 months that they were trying to win.
Yeah.
That's greatness.
All right. So I challenged you before the show, make a statistical case for the Chiefs to win, because to me, this is what I find kind of shocking. I can't think of a single statistical case, a single area on paper that the Chiefs are better than
I've got one stat.
Okay.
It's I'll give you the number and we'll see if you can guess the stat. 850. 850.
850.
There's a decimal point in front of it. So 0.850.
0.50. So it's some sort of it's a winning percentage.
That's Patrick Mahomes' winning percentage in the playoffs, 17-3.
Yeah.
17-3.
That's not a statistic.
It is 100% a statistic.
People are comparing the 2024 Eagles and 2024 Chiefs. Give me a statistical
The
case.
Chiefs have the quarterback who has won 85% of his playoff games.
Yeah. He's 8-0 against Vic Fangio.
Right. I was going to get into that. And 8-0, one of those games he didn't finish. He got hurt. I think it was on a Thursday.
The first one.
Was it the first one against Denver?
First one, 2019. Yep.
Okay. So throw that one out. First of all, Kansas City still throttled Denver. So he's 7-0 in those other games. 5 of those 8 were blowout wins. We're talking like 13+ point victories. And I get
different teams. It's not just the Broncos, 2 different teams.
Right, Miami too. And I get that the Eagles defense is better than any of those teams that Vic Fangio coached before. Completely giving that, but it's generally been the same type of scheme that he uses. It's a lot of zone, not a lot of blitzing. He uses the same general formula against Patrick Mahomes every time.
And some of those Denver defenses were, I mean, I wouldn't say this Eagles defense is a lot better. Like he had prime Von Miller and elite corners in Denver, right?
I don't know about elite.
I would wonder if those Denver defenses were actually better than the Eagles.
But I've got another number, Adam. You didn't like the first statistic. Awesome. I got a second statistic for you. 301.
Is there a decimal in front of that one?
No, it's just the number 301.
Is that what he averages in the Super Bowl?
Sounds like
that's the number of games that the guy who's never won Coach of the Year in Kansas City has won in his NFL career. 301 victories for Andy Reid. Like, you can have all the different statistics besides that, but when you have the best quarterback and you have the best head coach, that goes a long ways.
And defensive coordinator. I guess as good as Fangio is. I mean, it's Spags versus Fangio. Who's going to come up with some wrinkle? You know, Spagnuolo seems to do it all the time. I get that. Where I was coming from with that is that look at these teams on paper. The Eagles scored more points, averaged more yards per play. They allowed fewer points and gave up fewer yards per play. They were 4th in the NFL in big plays that gained 20 or more yards. Kansas City was 27th. Kansas City was 27th in big plays.
I guess if you're looking for something for this year, it's the Chiefs are great against the run.
No, they're not anymore.
They haven't been lately.
Well, I mean,
8 games. Their last 8 games, running backs. Hold on. Their last 8 games, running backs are averaging 4.74 yards per carry.
It's even worse than their last 3. Last 3 meaningful games. Throw out week 18
because that's a huge thing. It's like that would be the one thing that they have going for them, but it hasn't been for 8 games now. They're one of the worst runs.
What did you say when we started the show in terms of Barkley?
Yeah, but that's like 80. Okay, that's true. It hasn't happened, but this, like, James Cook just had a huge game. Joe Mixon went for over 80 yards, and
they won both of those.
Absolutely. I think they're going to win. I'm pretty sure. I haven't decided yet. I'll decide in about 15 minutes. Pretty sure I'm picking the Chiefs. I think the Eagles defense might be a little overrated. Like, I just look at their personnel. Like, are we looking at like Hall of Famers on this team? I don't know. No. Obviously, Jalen Carter is amazing, but I think it's a really good group of guys. I don't think it's as good as their numbers.
I mean, look, you got young guys in the secondary. You know, losing to Kobe Dean was not great. This is the best of the best. You know, there's a reason these two teams are here. You know, they have proven to be the 2 best teams in their conferences, and so for the Eagles, they have to overcome a team that's clearly had a lot of success in the spot. You know what I mean? Yeah. As he said, they're going to probably be trailing at some point. That doesn't faze them. You know, so this is a tough ask for this Eagles team. It's obviously a tough ask for the Chiefs as well. You know, the Eagles now have Super Bowl experience. They were here 2 years ago. You know, this isn't something that's going to, overwhelm them in terms of the experience. So, will they make the same mistakes? You know, the difference was a defensive holding call to set up a game-winning field goal that probably would have ended up Chiefs scoring anyway, and a Jalen Hurts fumble 2 years ago. You know, so
wasn't that holding call on 3rd down?
The Bradbury call, I don't remember what call it was, what down it was.
I think it was.
It just allowed them to kill the clock.
Yeah, 3rd and 8. It was 3rd and 8, and they called. I have the recap right in front of me. They called a hold on Bradbury. All right, so I think I know why you guys think Kansas City would win this game, hypothetically. They've got Mahomes, they've got Andy Reid. Why could the Eagles win this game, Dave?
They've got Saquon Barkley, and we talked about how this run defense has fallen off. You can choose what date you want to use to show the stats of how this Chiefs run defense has faded. Their last 3 games, excluding week 18, 5.2 yards per carry, a 10-yard rush rate allowed of 13%, 3 touchdowns allowed to running backs on the ground, 100-plus total yards to a running back in each of those 3. It's James Cook, it's Joe Mixon, it's Jaylen Warren. I submit to the panel that Buffalo would be in this spot if they stuck with James Cook more in the conference championship game. They didn't do it, and the end result was Patrick Mahomes taking over. I think Philadelphia is going to lean on Saquon Barkley, because he's been awesome, and this is a matchup I think they can win on. I think they can win on edge runs specifically. Kansas City's been getting whipped on off tackle and edge runs. Saquon's averaging on the season 6.3 yards per carry, 10% explosive rate. It's a little bit worse than that on between the tackle runs. If they stick with Saquon Barkley, they stay in this game. And there is definitely a chance they can win this game on the back of Saquon.
So, Dave, you said something that, and I've been wanting to ask this question, so it's far enough away from the Buffalo game, I think, that I can ask it. You said the Bills would have won if they would have stuck with James Cook. One thing
I think they would have had I think so.
Concerns me is I think the Bills would have won if they'd have just had Jalen Hurts running the tush push.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The Chiefs stopped the Bills tush push multiple times. I'm not sure that they can stop the Eagles tush push.
It's a great point. Yeah. Jamie, you want to weigh in on what you think could be an Eagles win? Could lead to.
It's pretty clear. I think if Barkley gets going, they're going to win. If they contain Barkley, I think they're going to struggle. Not that Jalen Hurts can't win the game, but I just don't think that's the formula right now for the Eagles to win. Like to ask Jalen Hurts to bring them back from a deficit, I think is going to be a problem.
The huge key.
Wait, hold on. Go to Heath. Go ahead, Heath.
Huge key on the other side is Mahomes has second or lowest ADOT in the NFL in terms of the Chiefs pass offense. The Eagles defense has given up the least amount of yak all year long. The Chiefs, you said they don't have big plays. They don't. They throw it short. They pick up enough to get a first down. Their success rate is the best in the NFL. Like they make successful plays over and over and over again. A lot of times because of yak. The Eagles have given up almost no yak all year long. So that tackling in the secondary, if they're able to get Xavier Worthy down, get Travis Kelce down, get Juju down, I guess he's a thing again now. That will be huge for the Eagles. They're going to get the Chiefs in some 3rd and 10s, some 3rd and 12s, some 3rd and 8s. Do they get off the field then? Or does Mahomes magic picks up 12 yards again?
Yeah, and I would guess that sometimes they will and sometimes they won't, just like it would be in any typical game. But that's Fangio's bread and butter is too high, zone coverage, no blitzing. Or rarely blitzing, I should say, because no team never blitzes. And that's going to deter, it should deter Kansas City from throwing downfield, and it should mean a lot of dinking and dunking, like you said. And that's what Fangio wants. And then hopefully his thinking is we get them to either stall and they have to punt, or they stall and they kick a field goal, and they hopefully just keep them out of the end zone. But I do think the one thing Philadelphia has done all year, time of possession has always been in their favor. This could be a game where that doesn't happen. It could be really close, maybe by like a minute. It could be in their favor. But I think Kansas City will hold the ball a long time in this game because of what they're doing and because they can be successful with the dink and the dunk.
They could, and Adam says these guys play boring, I think, but they do. They could challenge the record for the fewest possessions in a Super Bowl because both these teams have long drives.
Yep.
All right, I want to talk about some other things. I mean, I said that the Eagles are better on paper. I didn't give all of the reasons why they're better on paper, but I just want to lead. We'll go into break in a second here. We've got to take a break here, but just want to leave you thinking this. So they're better on offense statistically. They're better on defense, better in big plays. They're also much better at preventing big plays. They allowed the fewest plays of 20 or more yards, and the Chiefs were 17th. They were better in the red zone. They turned the ball over less. They had a higher turnover margin. They had a higher pressure rate. They had more sacks. The only thing I saw where the Chiefs were better was 3rd down conversion rate. The 4th down conversion rate, they were both top 4. They're basically tied. So I just found it interesting. I do remember, though, having a similar conversation last year where it was clear that on paper, the 49ers were better than the Chiefs. 49ers had a great run game. The Chiefs were really struggling against the run at that point. Ultimately, Super Bowl's close games are probably going to come down to the quarterback more than the running back. So keep that in mind. Jalen Hurts probably in a better position to succeed than Brock Purdy was last year. But just a lot to digest here, in a game that I still, like, honestly, every time I think about it, I have trouble figuring out who I think is going to win, because I do think the Eagles are a better team. But, I think a lot of people feel this way, right? A lot of people feel like the Eagles are probably a better team. I was reading Prisco's preview of the game. It was basically the same thing. Eagles are better. They play a lot of zone. Mahomes isn't great against zone, but you know what? He's Mahomes are going to win. That's basically what it is, right? But I'll get your official picks. But do you sort of feel that's the general consensus?
No.
What do you think the general consensus is? That the Chiefs?
No, I'm sorry. I thought you were asking if I agreed with you that the Eagles are obviously better.
Okay.
If everybody else feels that way, I'm not sure. Maybe.
I've seen it a lot. I do feel like I get that impression, but I also, most of the picks I've seen have been on the Chiefs. All right. Also, BetMGM is great. So let's get on BetMGM. If you haven't done that yet, now's your chance. Super Bowl's coming up. Let's use that bonus code FANTASY, and you're going to get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Just download the BetMGM app and use that bonus code FANTASY when you sign up. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you'll receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure you use the bonus code FANTASY when you sign up. X factors, food we'll be eating, picks, and an MVP picks as well, and a special surprise when we come back on Fantasy Football Today.
Yeah, we always find our way back home.
I'm in the mood to sing. Anybody want to sing?
Oh, gosh.
Oh,
What are you talking about?
I'm in the mood. I got this song in my head. You remember, Dave, you remember this song, I Knew I Loved You by Savage Garden? I knew I loved you. You don't remember that song?
The hell?
Dave, it was the number one song in the country on February 7th, 2000. This is the 25th anniversary of I Knew I Loved You by Savage Garden being the number one song in the country. And I just want to leave it at that. Guys, who are your X factors for, no, just kidding. Today is also a big time 25th anniversary. It is Dave Richards' 25th anniversary. I knew I loved you before I even worked with you, Dave Richard. Congratulations on an amazing career that has a lot left in the tank at CBS Sports.
From your lips to God's ears, I got 2 kids' college tuition to pay for. It's been fun. It's been great watching CBS Sports evolve. And that's really, I'm surprised you even brought it up.
Not only do we bring it up, let's take a look back at some of the greatest hits.
Are you freaking kidding me?
25 years. Roll the tape.
All his fantasy owners loved him. When he scores, they shout with glee. Rudolph the purple helmeted Viking, you're a sudden fantasy.
There it is. Oh, I saw a string of saliva there. That was the best moment.
Now it's time to check out players who weren't themselves today, presented by Snickers, who reminds you that you're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies. Let's start. How bad was that? Don't be that guy. Stop offering crappy trades. The touchdown when he was blinded by the sun against Philadelphia last week. If he catches that pass, it's 15.5 PPR points.
Did you just change the filter on your camera to make the sun in your eyes too?
Who, me?
That was brilliant.
No, it's the sun coming in from one of the windows in my house. Is that better? I'll just be like this for the next 20 minutes on the show. I have the sun coming into my camera, and Jamie is as red as the sun when it sets.
And if Tebow plays like we know he plays, then your team will go all the way. You know it's true. Everything we do it for you.
Yeah.
Oh, Dave left. Dave left. Oh man. Oh, is that great or what?
That was awesome.
Thank you to our crew for putting that together. And Dave, I'm sorry. You can come back now. You can come back now. Thomas, who was it that edited that? I want to make sure I give the right person credit there. Oh, Jake.
Yeah, Jake, our social media guy.
Jake, well done. Great work. And we actually have something else later on in the show. That's not embarrassing, Dave. Don't worry about it. But stay tuned for that at the end. All right. Who's the X factor in this game, Heath?
Are we just going to leave Dave's chairs empty
He's ready.
for the remainder of the show?
You'll see Dave in another 25 years.
He made it 25. That's a good run. We got the empty chair now. The X factor in this game. You want like a surprising one, or just the guy that I think the guy who matters the most is probably Xavier Worthy. I do think they're going to have to pepper him with short area targets, and he's going to have to turn a couple of those short targets into big plays for the Chiefs offense.
What do you got, Jamie? Who's an X factor for you?
I'll give you one for each team. I think it's going to be a non-Xavier Worthy receiver for the Chiefs, because that seems to be what happens in the Super Bowl, and that's the hard part, is figuring out who it's going to be. So I'll put it on Marquise Brown, just because he's the most experienced. And no, I take that back. He's not the most experienced. Obviously, DeAndre Hopkins is the most experienced, but I think Brown will play more than Hopkins. So it'll be one of Brown or Hopkins, or Juju will do something that will be like, oh, okay, this is the wrinkle that they've been saving for this game. And then for the Eagles, I think it's Dallas Goedert. You've seen him the last two times they played the Chiefs. He's had pretty significant games. He's been their most consistent receiving threat in the playoffs so far. A lot of that had to do, I think, with A.J. Brown being banged up. And we know the Chiefs have struggled with tight ends this season, so it would not surprise me if Goddard has a big game in this matchup.
For me, it's going to be Devontae Smith. So he had 100 yards in the game 2 years ago. Things are obviously different now, but I'm hoping that the Chiefs will score enough points, and in a close, this game will be close and tight, and they'll have to throw. The Eagles will have to throw a little bit in the second half. And here's why I'm going with Devontae Smith. He plays in the slot a lot, about half the time throughout the regular season. I did not realize this about the Chiefs, but they have given up the 5th most receiving yards to wide receivers out of the slot, and the 4th most targets to wide receivers out of the slot. That was just in the regular season. They've also allowed 80 yards per game to slot wide receivers in the postseason. So the way I see it is McDuffie, because I watched the game film of Nico Collins from the divisional round, and McDuffie was mostly on him. I mean, he didn't shadow him, but he was on him more than anyone else. And he did a pretty good job against Nico. I think McDuffie will be on A.J. Brown. I think A.J. Brown could win that matchup, but I think that's what will happen. I think you will see Devontae Smith with very good matchups in the slot, mostly against Shamari Connor, I believe. And I think, no one's really expecting this. So he's going to be the captain of the MVP of my FanDuel team. I might take the over on his yardage, but he's an X factor for me. I think he'll have the best matchup. The other guy,
from, right?
What's that?
You know where he's from, right?
Is he from New Orleans?
Yep.
Oh, I love it.
And it's not just the last time they played in the Super Bowl. He's played against the Chiefs 3 times in his career. 7 catches for 122 yards, 6 catches for 99 yards, 7 catches for 100 yards.
Gosh, remember his national championship game? He was insane in that game. But anyway, maybe he's good on the big stage. But the other guys are the kickers, and that might be an area where the Chiefs actually do have an edge, because Jake Elliott's very accurate, but he's 1 of 7 this year from 50 yards or longer. Harrison Butker's 2 of 5, but Butker's just kind of money. He's not having his best season, but he's Butker. He's not Vinatieri, but he gives them an edge. All right, Dave, who's your X factor? Come on back.
Yo. So I was thinking that Mike Caliendo could be the X factor. That's the guard who's replacing Tooney moving to left tackle. And we know that all the focus is going to be on Saquon Barkley and what he can do as a runner. I'm wondering if Kansas City can, in their last game of the year, carve out something against the run defense of the Eagles. And like we talked about earlier, Fangio, 2 high safeties, that means that it's not going to be 8 in the box or anything like that. They might be able to get some gains on the ground, and Caliendo might have to be the catalyst for that, which sounds crazy. But if he has a good game and he can protect Mahomes, all the better for Kansas City, and he's done a nice job in the playoffs so far.
Also, Adam, just point of clarification, Harrison Butker has the NFL record for most made field goals in the Super Bowl. He's 9 of 10.
Oh,
Adam Vinatieri is 7 of 10.
wow. Yeah. All right. Sorry.
That's why Vinatieri didn't get into the hall.
He is an X factor. No
Wait
doubt.
till Butker gets in.
All right. What's on the menu this week? Heath, you grilling or what?
I don't have to grill this week. It's the greatest week ever. I got a package from our friends at Goldbelly. I have Kansas City barbecue
Ooh.
from my favorite barbecue place in Kansas City, Joe's Kansas City. I have burnt ends, I have ribs, I have brisket. And the best part is I also have wings from the place where buffalo wings were invented in Buffalo. So
What time
it's
should
going to
be
be
over at the house?
it's going to be a great event.
You're an
3:30
old basketball team, all
o'clock.
right?
How many people are you having?
There will probably be 6 to 8.
Oh,
All right, so 4 o'clock. I'll be there at 4.
We'll find out. We also have a basketball tournament this weekend. So I'll be coaching, which will be nice
Are you
because
coaching to win or coaching to lose?
it's hard enough to wait like all this time. The Saturday and Sunday wait with nothing to do is the absolute worst. So thankfully I got a couple of 7th grade basketball games to coach.
nice. Jamie, what's on the menu?
I have no idea. I'm going to somebody's house, so whatever.
Oh,
day.
nice.
He's going to Heath's house.
What's the one thing you're hoping they'll have?
Oh, I'm not picky. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna invite Jamie over. He's like very low standards. I love it.
And,
Dave,
and this is correct. The wings are from Frank and Teres Anchor Bar in Buffalo.
Yes.
nice. Dave, what's on the menu?
My wife makes an awesome spinach and artichoke dip. I will partake in that. That'll be at like 12 o'clock though. So the festivities will get rolling then. I actually think I summoned the bravery to let my college-age son bring some of his friends over to the house for the game. You guys know this. Normally I like to watch the games. It needs to be quiet. I can watch and focus.
On mute.
If possible. But it's not going to happen. And now I'm going to have a bunch of potentially drunk college kids watching at the same time. Oh, and my daughter's boyfriend will be over. That'll be great.
You are gonna have the worst time.
That sounds awful.
Go to Heath's.
He's got this nervous laugh right now going, I think he's joking, but I'm not sure if he's joking.
I'm having all the classics: pizza, wings, buffalo chicken dip, chips and salsa, guacamole, like very standard stuff. Sandwiches. Gonna have the eggplant sandwich for the people who want that. We got a little chicken cutlet sandwich, Italian combo sandwich, turkey sandwich. It's really gonna be terrific. Very excited for this. All right, let's pick the game. Let's get Super Bowl MVP. I have to go last because I still don't know what my pick is. Jamie, you can go first.
I'll be boring. Chiefs, Mahomes.
You want to give a score?
Oh, 24-21.
How boring. Terribly boring. Totally lame. I think the Chiefs will win. I think Mahomes will be the MVP 23-17.
Oh. Heath?
I'll go Chiefs win, Mahomes MVP 20-17.
Ooh, low scoring games. Patrick Mahomes. All right, I'm going to go
on the under. All three of us looking sharp.
I'm going to go 27-24 Eagles.
There you go.
Jalen Hurts.
So wait. You started after the conference games rooting for the you said you're gonna root for the Eagles, right?
I said I wasn't sure. I said I might root for them.
No, you said you hated the Chiefs, if I'm not mistaken.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Then
not
you changed and you were a Chiefs fan for about 10 days.
Still a Chiefs fan, yeah.
Now you're a Chiefs fan. Okay. But now you're picking the Eagles to win.
I think so. Ask me again in a minute.
While wearing a Giants jersey.
Yeah, I'm wearing my Beckham jersey. I don't know, man. Like I said, I really don't. I'm not going to bet the game. I'll tell you that because I don't know who I think is going to win. I really think the Eagles are better. I think the experience from 2 years ago is going to help them. And the Chiefs, they're just not nearly as good as their record. But they're probably they got Mahomes. They don't make mistakes. They don't beat themselves. People can complain about like the Texans game, right? You had those roughing the unnecessary roughness calls. I just don't think the Chiefs really put themselves in those situations as much as other teams do. And I know that they get a lot of calls, but also they're just a very smart, disciplined team. They don't beat themselves, but neither do the Eagles, right? The Eagles, again, like they're even better at forcing turnovers and not turning the ball over than the Chiefs. So I just think I think it's time for the Chiefs to finally lose.
I mean, look, there's a reason no one's ever three-peated before.
Right.
Yeah,
so there's history against them. But sometimes, you got to be the first to do something. And this is probably the team to do it.
I do completely reject the idea that they're not as good as their record. But I think the hard thing is we get halfway through the fourth quarter and the Chiefs have the ball and they're behind. What's going to happen?
If for my pick, hopefully they score with enough time left for the Eagles to score after that, because obviously they're going to score.
But then you're in a situation where you need, do you feel as confident with Jalen Hurts leading the 2-minute drive to go get the game-winning score as you do Patrick Mahomes?
No, of course not. But okay, so I think we probably all agree if the Chiefs have the ball with 2 minutes left and they're trailing by one score, they're probably going to score and win or tie, right? Like we all feel like we'd bet on Mahomes there.
Sure. There was some stat that I saw. It's about the all-time record of quarterbacks in that situation. And I don't think in the playoffs Mahomes has ever not either won the game or tied the game in that situation. I think he's 100% conversion rate.
Now I'll flip the question. Eagles are down by 3 points, 2 minutes left. They have the ball at the 30-yard line. What happens? They have 2 timeouts.
First turnover of the game.
That's actually a smart comment. I would.
Spags probably runs a play that he hasn't run in 2.5 years.
Another corner blitz.
Yeah.
And they force a mistake.
Someone says, sounds like Adam is struggling between who he wants to win and who he thinks will win. That's honestly not it. I know who I want to win. I am rooting for the Chiefs. I'm just very much struggling with who I think will win. Let's see if we can get a YouTube poll up. We have we're still going to do some DFS and some player props. And there's some news, by the way, to get to. But if we can get a YouTube poll up of, I want to know the people who are watching live right now, who do you think is going to win the game? So we'll come back and we will talk about that after another break here on Fantasy Football Today.
One of golf's elite courses, Quail Hollow, hosts the game's top players at the PGA Championship this May on CBS.
All right. You want to do props or DFS first, James?
Oh, wait. Hold on. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
When you did the whole recap of my 25 years of making an ass out of myself, was Wheel of Fortune in there?
No, it's just work stuff.
All right. It might be time to finally get you guys in front of the Wheel of Fortune episode.
Yes, please.
Is it more than just you guys? Does everybody want to see this? Should we?
Who wouldn't?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I lived it, so I don't know if I need to really.
I mean, I'm sure there's some way we can take it from. What's it on? Is it on VHS? Or
I have it.
Is it on like the big reel?
No,
if we have it, and if we don't have it, I have it. And
we should just put it on YouTube.
I have. By the way, I have it, and we should also thank. I know you thank Jake for doing the highlight video. We should also thank Matt Brodsky for giving us a lot of those videos as well.
I didn't even know the Snickers video existed. Oh, wait, I shouldn't have said that. I watched it. Let's put a pin in this, Adam. Let's do it at some point this offseason. The Wheel of Fortune live viewing party.
All right. Now, Jamie, you can pick. You player props or DFS?
I've not looked at one player prop, so DFS.
Okay, great. Who's got a DFS lineup they'd like to share with the class?
I have 3.
Let's go.
All right. So FanDuel, this is just an overall FanDuel, no gimmick to it. I've got Hurts in the MVP, Saquon, AJ Brown, Kareem Hunt, and Samaje Perine. I guess it's a little bit more of a Philly contrarian one where I just don't have the key guys on the Chiefs in there. But I just figure if you're going to have a lineup, Hurts and Saquon should be in it. So that might be the majority of people who do that, but that's what I've got. Hurts, MVP, Saquon, AJ Brown, bring it back with 2 of the 3 Chiefs running backs.
Okay. Heath, got one?
Yeah. Shock everybody. I have Mahomes as the MVP. Kelsey, Worthy, and Perine. with Devontae Smith.
Okay,
I
Kelsey.
think Samaje P. Ryan's everybody's cheap play, right?
I don't have a cheap play
Oh,
in my lineup. Let me
He's
just make
fancy.
sure I didn't do. You're on FanDuel or DraftKings?
FanDuel.
Why is it that I don't have a cheap play? Did I cheat? Let me just check my.
No, let's hear the team.
I have Devontae
That
Smith.
could make for an interesting team.
Oh, because you didn't play a quarterback in the MVP.
Yeah, Devontae Smith is my MVP. I have both quarterbacks, Xavier Worthy and Dallas Goedert. And I really like Worthy in this game, by the way. First of all, like the Eagles don't give up big plays, but he's not a downfield guy. I mean, that was his reputation. I think he'll become one at some point, but he's like an 8-yard ADOT guy. But he's catching the ball a lot lately. And keep in mind, Patrick Mahomes has thrown something like 50 passes in his last 2 games. He averaged over 36 pass attempts per game. So some of the receiving numbers over the last 2 weeks, like Marquise Brown, for example, has been really bad. Kelsey coming off a horrible game. Some of it's been just they haven't been throwing the ball more. I'm thinking they're going to throw the ball more. But I really like Worthy in this game. I think we all have. Well, Dave, did you have Worthy in your lineup? You did.
No, I don't like his. I don't want to talk you out of Worthy because his last 5 games, he's getting almost 9 targets per game. He's been awesome. But when it's man coverage, he's got like a 30% target per route run rate versus zone. All of his numbers are down. It's 23% target per route run rate, 8.8 yards per catch, explosion rate under 10%. The metrics aren't as good. He's a guy that beats cover 1, and I don't think the Eagles are going to do a lot of cover 1. I've got similar stats for Devontae Smith, by the way.
In the playoffs, he has I think 5 red zone targets. I don't think anyone else has more than 1. But he doesn't have
the trick plays that he'll be involved in too.
Right.
Yeah, and I'll talk about his rushing prop in a second too. All right, Jim, you got a DFS lineup?
Yeah, this is my chalky one, which is Hurts MVP. This is FanDuel, Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert, and then Mahomes and Worthy.
Am I the only one that has a lineup with AJ Brown?
Yeah, I mean, what's your thought there? I mean, are you concerned about AJ Brown?
No, I think he's the best receiver that Jalen Hurts has, and he's the one that I think will lead them in all of the receiving numbers. I don't have I could look up the data. I'm just assuming that AJ Brown can beat any type of coverage that the Chiefs throw at them.
Yeah,
he did. So I gave the Devontae Smith against Spags. Brown's only played 2 games with the Eagles against the Chiefs. One of them in the Super Bowl, he had 6 for 96 and a touchdown. The other one, he had 1 catch for 8 yards. Played 95% of the snaps.
Ooh, look at this. Who do you think will win the Super Bowl? We have 23 votes, 52% on the Chiefs, 48% on the Eagles so far.
That's how it is.
I looked at some player props, but not too many that I'm just going to be 100% honest. Not too many that I feel super confident in. I think you could all kind of have an idea of how I feel about the Super Bowl, which is exciting, by the way. I think there's this uncertainty. I'm excited about it. Anybody have a player prop or so that they love?
I like Jalen Hurts' first touchdown at plus 500.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Oh, Dave, give me a little promotion here of the prop show.
So I've got a bunch of props that I'll give out. First of all, they're already on Sportsline. So if you're a subscriber to Sportsline, that's our betting site. It's $10 a month. I can get you a code that'll give you a discount. Just find me on Twitter and I'll hook you up. But my picks are on there, and I've got a live show with some of the Sportsline guys, both on Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern on CBS Sports Network with replays on YouTube. And then game day from 6 to 6:30 on YouTube. It's the Sportsline Early Edge player prop and Super Bowl preview show. So I'll give my favorite prop. Mahomes over 5.5 rushing attempts, figuring that the Chiefs may struggle to run the football and that the Eagles are going to play a lot of zone coverage. How many times you have to drink every time I'd say that now. And they're going to get pressure on Mahomes. And when that happens, he typically does take off and scramble, and he could have a couple of kneel downs. All he needs is 6. He's done that in, I think, 3 or 4 Super Bowls that he's played in, maybe every Super Bowl that he's played in. So to me, Patrick Mahomes getting 6+ rush attempts, and the juice is low, -104 is what I got it at.
He's been above that. He's been at 9, 5, 6, and 9 rush attempts. I was favoring his rushing yards. His player prop on the rushing yards is 29.5.
It's not bad.
In 4 Super Bowls, Mahomes has 29, 33, 44, and 66 rushing yards. So I would lean over there. I also think Xavier Worthy's rushing prop is really interesting. It's 5.5 yards. Xavier Worthy's been 10 or more rushing yards in 4 of his last 5 games. Now this one, if you want to go over 5.5 yards for Worthy's rushing yards, it's minus 140. So obviously people are on that, but it's weird. The Eagles, for whatever reason, I don't know if there's any rhyme or reason to this, they've seen like the 3rd fewest wide receiver rush attempts. There's only been 2 wide receivers that have gone over 5.5 rushing yards against the Eagles all year. But I do like, and the one that I like the most, I think, is Xavier Worthy over 54.5 receiving yards.
Yes, I do too.
Yeah, that one.
I like that one. And Worthy has multiple rush attempts in 4 of the Chiefs' last 5 games that he's played.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. I have my eye on him. I think he's another X factor. I think he's going to be good. He's coming on at the right time. Jamie, you said the receivers are playing well at the right time for the Chiefs. That's obviously led by Worthy. And they're scheming him. You know, they're getting the ball in his hands. I was watching the red zone targets. There's a little pop pass to him. There's a wide receiver screen to him. They want him to do a lot. So Worthy over 54.5 receiving yards would be my favorite player prop. All right, we got some news and notes to get to, but before we do that, Dave, please don't go anywhere. I haven't seen all of this, but what I've seen is not embarrassing. A little message from some of your friends to celebrate your 25th anniversary at CBS.
Hey Dave, Sergio Gonzalez, your former colleague who I'm sure nobody remembers and is seriously wondering how you guys are going to fit this into the show. I just want to congratulate you on 25 years and a Hall of Fame career, and then ask you how it is that you still look the same, but Jamie looks like he's aged about 50 years. Congratulations, man.
Dave, wow, 25 years. Happy 25th anniversary, or as I like to say, happy 50th anniversary and lunch years. I'm wishing you 25 more years of great matchups, surprise birthdays, and many, 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 many great lunches.
What's up, Dave, Richard? Nick Costos, Pete Prisco, your old pals here. Wanted to congratulate you on
25 years? Really?
25 years.
You only look like you're 63.
Congratulations, buddy. We love you. Here's to another 25, and we hope you celebrate by engaging in your favorite activity. Changing jackets.
And having fun.
You're the best, buddy. Congratulations.
Hello, Dave. It's your old friend Nando. I wanted to send a video along to wish you congratulations on 25 years at CBS, and also 25 years at somehow getting out of writing player notes. You're above it. Whoa! Anyway, I kid. Congratulations, man. 25 years anywhere is quite the accomplishment, especially in this economy. You deserve it. You're one of the best. You're a nice guy. Fantastic person. Excellent rapper / freestyler. I don't know if they can play the Herc Love song underneath this, but that'd be cool, right? Jamais. But hey, congrats, man. You're a great guy to work with. It's been an honor sullying your Hall of Fame entry by also going in at the same time as you. But you know, can't undo that one, Dave. Hope everything's great. I love you, man. Congratulations. Hope to see you soon. Goodbye.
Wow.
And I said to Jamie, I was like, that's every conversation I have with Nando. He never stops. He just like a comma.
That's why he's awesome.
Yeah, it's so funny. Oh my God. Well, congratulations. How do you reflect on your 25 years?
I don't care. The paychecks have been very nice.
No, come on.
I'm serious. Listen, man, like the number one reason why I do it is why anybody does a job. It's a job. But the second best part is, without question, the relationships that I've made. Obviously with you guys, and I thank you all for this, but also there are people who I've been helping with their fantasy teams for 25 years. And when they get back to me at the end of the year saying, I won, or, you know, I lost this year, but I won last year. And I know all three of you feel the exact same way, man. It's a sense of pride that help.
Sorry.
No, that was perfect. You should have absolutely done that.
It is the game of the week.
Oh, listen, number one, CBS has helped me feed my family for 25 years. Number two, helping people win and having relationships with you guys is really special. Do we have to do this for Jamie next year?
I'm not 25.
So,
oh yeah, it's like I always think of you like a year
right?
behind me, but you're not a year behind me. And
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, first off, I'm curious, like, how many different email addresses do you have? Second,
I'm the hold on, I'm the only one that still uses my original email address.
Yeah, I don't know which one that is, but
no, it's on X. You can email me anytime.
Like I remember still 10 years ago when I came down to South Florida to interview to join this team. And just like I got back home and I had a private message from Dave saying how well he thought everything went, wishing me luck, all this. Like that's just who Dave is. And it's been a pleasure to get to work with you for 40% of this time. And I want to apologize because I did get you a really nice chandelier from Key West, but we had trouble getting it here.
All right. I don't think all this is necessary. Like we did all this for the stupid Hall of Fame.
Because I really don't know what I'm going to say. So
yeah, don't say a damn thing. Play the stupid game of the week music and
that's
congratulations, buddy.
Yeah, congratulations. It's quite
sorry. So wait a minute, Jamie, next year is 20 years then for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll celebrate. We'll do the whole thing all over again for you. 20 years.
You know how we found out about this, right?
No.
The company sends like a congratulate your coworker Dave Richard on 25 years. It's been circulating around the company for weeks.
The joke's on you. I'm getting an Apple Watch for my 25th anniversary.
There you go.
That's fantastic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're being very kind.
Oh, this is my 15th. What do I get? Like I
don't think you get anything.
You get a cinnamon raisin bagel with a bunch of crap on it that no one would ever eat except for you.
Well, you actually had a brief hiatus, so you might have to reset the clock when you.
I did not have a brief hiatus. It never was off the payroll. All right, Adam Thielen's returning for his age 35 season. The Vikings didn't rule out bringing Sam Darnold back. Jay Glazer says he does not expect Russell Wilson to be back with the Steelers. That's pretty big news, I guess. Chicago.
Oh, the Raiders. Hold on. He also said the Raiders were out on Russ.
Giants.
Enjoy that.
What are you talking about? You guys have locked up Jameis to a long-term contract.
It's not going to happen. Okay, no way. Want to send our condolences. Virginia Hallis McCaskey, Chicago owner. She died at the age of 102. It's pretty good. We'll take that. Hell of a lifetime. And then Josh Allen won the MVP. What? Travis Shamakary. He is the first player to win the MVP without being first-team All-Pro since Steve McNair did it. It was the co-MVP, Steve McNair, with Peyton Manning in 2003, and Manning was first-team All-Pro. Saquon Barkley, Offensive Player of the Year. Joe Burrow, Comeback Player of the Year. No votes for Zach Ertz. Patrick Surtain, Defensive Player of the Year. Jaden Daniels, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Jared Verse, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Kevin O'Connell, Coach of the Year. Eric Armstead, Walter Payton, Man of the Year. Congratulations, Eric Armstead, with an A, though. And congratulations to 4 Hall of Famers. Jared Allen, defensive end. Tight end Antonio Gates. Cornerback Eric Allen. Wide receiver Sterling Sharp. Made the Hall of Fame. No Eli Manning. Interesting.
Does he like it in before Vinatieri? I was surprised no Vinatieri.
He better get in before Adam Vinatieri.
Adam Vinatieri ranks much higher in the all-time kicker list than Eli Manning does in the all-time quarterback list.
The all-time what list?
Kicker.
Oh, yeah, that's what I thought. It's a tough nomination, but if only 4 people got in and Eli didn't get in, that doesn't sound great.
Have you seen the video of Shannon telling Sterling that he got in?
No.
Not yet.
All the feels.
That's cool, man. Yeah. All right, that's it. And enjoy the game, guys.
We will.
We'll talk to you all Sunday night. Me and Jamie will be here Sunday night to recap the action. So I hope everybody has an awesome Super Bowl and find a good excuse to miss work on Monday. See you later. Go ahead.
You're watching on YouTube and you're not done yet. 11:30 FFT Dynasty.
There you go. All right. See you later, everybody.